So, when you two last left off, you had parted away from Rosemary's place, waving goodbye to your friends up on the roof and heading off a little north towards Bette's place. A rather nice little apartment off of the precipice overhangs the side of the easternmost river, the Hearthvine. As you approached, it was a beautiful view. The sun still slowly rising in the mid-morning, cast across roofs and the balcony that span the three apartments next to Babette's, where outside of one familiar old lady continued to knit away. As you approached your home, you noticed that the door was ajar. Eliza, as you glanced a discerning eye towards the seemingly homeless old lady, you get the distinct impression that there was a magical illusion. Perhaps this old lady not as harmless as they seem. Just as you suggest that perhaps you leave, that this might be a trap. The door, ajar, is held open by a hooked hand. And as it's pulled a little bit wide, familiar halfling of Caius, your once partner in crime, shakes his head, other hand placed deep in his pocket of his coat. Grizzled whole beard and slicked back, almost balding head, hair about to mid-back. Didn't mean to surprise you there. You really ought to get better locks there, though, love. As he turns and steps into your apartment, you can see that it seems to be everything in place other than his crossbow sitting up on the table. Me and Bertha figured we'd come by. Think, to the fact that that old pisser Valente got out. You heard about that, right? What's the fucking world coming to? See,
Before I step in, I cast mage armor on myself.
Right. Noted. Eliza, what are you doing?
We haven't stepped in then?
No. The person off to the right doesn't seem to be noticing, so just knitting away, blind. And as you look into the apartment, you can see there's this halfling that's kind of stepped in and pulled the hooked right hand and pulls out from his left pocket a small flask and puts it back.
And so he seems genuinely like he just came here to talk.
Give me an insight check.
Can I as well?
Of course, yeah.
Did it do it?
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
Yeah, he seems kind of drunk, but like the kind of drunk that's probably been like the same level of drunk for perhaps like days or weeks at this point in time.
Okay.
Who's your friend now?
Yeah, I cast Mage Armor on myself and then hand on weapon, cautiously walk in.
Yeah, I'm walking in behind her also with my hand on my crossbow.
So is this the way you do things now? You just find people's houses broken into and hang out?
Well, I was just coming by. You heard the news, didn't you? A fucking asshole's out. Not good news for anybody. In case you don't remember. Holds up his right hand. I wasn't gonna come in, but your door was open. I don't take you for the forgetful type.
Well, thank you for that. Have you heard anything from him, or just needed to bitch?
Maybe a bit of bitching. To be truthful, it wasn't until I was standing at your doorway that I even remembered where I was. You know, a bit of a bender.
Eliza is gonna like step forward and put her hand on Bab's shoulder and just be like, yeah, hi, who is this? What's going?
This is an old coworker.
Okay,
We
why is he
didn't
in your living room?
we didn't part on the best of terms, and the criminal who was released from jail ended up or was where we ended our acquaintance. Haven't seen him in a while.
Okay, so Eliza's gonna look to him and be like, well, what do you want?
That's the Liza.
Now that I know that you're not dead, I'll be heading on my way.
Why would she be dead?
Acting
Don't
didn't
know
work
much
out.
about your friends here.
What?
And from what sort of friend? He's looking at you now, and you're talking about like you play dice, or like you knit together. And you translate him to pretty much be asking you whether or not she's a friend in the business, or like, oh, I know about this shit.
Yeah, we share some mutual skills, but it's a bit of an older acquaintance, the two of us.
I was safe with anybody but Ken. I'll leave you to it. He kind of walks over to the table where this crossbow is at. He looks at you, Eliza, and he's like, "Let's hope him were easy."
Okay, wait, what?
He's like, making sure you're not gonna shoot him before he grabs his crossbow.
Oh. Well, Eliza keeps her hand on her weapon, but she's she's just watching.
He takes it, kind of slings it over his back, and walks on past y'all.
I keep an eye on him and watch where he goes.
Shoves a can into his other pocket, pulls out his bottle, takes a long swig on his way out.
And then, yeah, once I've kind of seen the direction that he's headed, I start checking my apartment and trying to figure out why it's been broken into, if it wasn't because it couldn't have been him.
Eliza's immediately like, that guy was dramatic. What was that about?
Yeah, I have developed a complicated career since you left.
Okay, continue.
Only investigation checks, by the way. Oof, that one. Definitely distracted.
She's concerned.
Oh my god.
Alright.
Yeah.
We-
Well,
Continue.
you know, acting didn't work out, but you know my talent for being where I shouldn't be. It just seemed like a natural evolution for me to get in with some shady people.
Okay, but how shady?
Depends on how much they're paying me.
Well, what reason would they have to break into your apartment? Was he really just here to complain? I'm so
I honestly lost track of him after we parted ways, so I mean, he was a bit of a erratic person, especially last time I saw him. The person we were working for was unpleasant, to say the least.
Can I want to insight check to see if like she's keeping something out about their relationship.
That's fair.
26.
I mean, basically, I'm dancing around saying it out loud to you.
Okay, Babs, cut the shit. Just tell me what's going on.
Why can I never lie to you? I mean, I'm not even lying. It just feels... Fuck. Ugh. Okay, well, I kind of... My skills got involved in a lot of espionage. And I've definitely... I thought I dodged a bullet when he got arrested, Valente, the person that everyone was losing their shit over when we first got here, or when you guys first arrived. And yeah, he's a very meticulous, very psychotic man, and that missing hand is Valente's fault, so...
Well, what did you do to upset him?
I didn't do things exactly as planned, because, you know, things get messy when you're on the job. And he doesn't like that.
Okay, but how bad? Like, I mean, I guess that doesn't matter. How do we find him?
I mean, I don't think this is the kind of man you want to find. This is the kind of man you want to hide from.
Well, I mean, he obviously knows where you live, and this is a really nice apartment.
Thank you.
uh,
You seemed on edge before we even got to the door.
there was an illusion outside. I think that old lady is... Well, I don't know, actually. Eliza's gonna walk out and see if she sees the old lady still.
Oh, you do not. Empty
Okay.
rocking chair.
Huh. She comes back in. She's like, yeah, there was a weird old lady. She didn't seem weird at first, but she had a weird vibe. I figured it out. I don't think it's real.
Do I know, like, is the old lady... Is she involved in sketchy stuff and is like a
No,
quote-unquote
she's
lookout?
always just... No, not at
She's
all.
always
I
just
mean,
been
she's always
there?
just been... Yeah. She's
Oh.
like, you know...
Yeah, I've
after
got a
maybe
couple
like a
scarves.
couple of times. Yeah, got a couple of scarves that she's made you. One of her nephews actually bought her this loft here and stuff after her husband died, and she mostly just talks about her husband all the time. And her nephew, that's it.
Okay. I mean, is there any way to, like, in hindsight, would I have any, like, I don't know.
Just like you
realized
noticed that her hair actually like didn't wasn't right. Oftentimes when people move, it's one of the things that you can look at to notice things that don't sit right in illusions. And it's where most people make most of their mistakes. And as you looked over and you realized that like she was an illusion. She's a person, but they were definitely disguising themselves with.
Okay. Gotcha. So yeah, I think that the old woman that we saw coming in, I don't think that was actually her.
Well,
Well, in
fuck.
fact, I know that it wasn't. It was an illusion.
So she's either always been that way or she's in trouble. Either way, I think if they haven't taken anything, I think we should probably cautiously leave.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go into, other rooms and just check. Like, the main area isn't tossed. Is there anything else in the house that isn't? What was that?
1 second.
Okay.
Give me 1 second. I'm checking your guys' character sheets for me real quick. Nope.
So yeah, nothing is tossed.
Eliza.
So,
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I had to check y'all's passive.
What?
As y'all are looking around, nothing is out of place. Everything is actually, fairly well looks like averagely lived in. Since you haven't been here before, you can't really tell. But looking around as well, that everything's exactly as you left it. Then the chair slightly out of the way in front of the table that his crossbow had been on. You can see like a little bit of like the circular stains from where he had his flask on the counter and probably fell asleep there. A little like bit of drool. But other than that, everything else here looks exactly normal. And as you're walking around, you actually hear something. Almost sounds like a cricket, right? Coming from right underneath your bed. Think maybe a cricket got you. Kind of peek under for just a moment. And you see.
weapon is out, by the way. As soon as I hear a sound.
You haven't heard it. It was
Eliza who heard it?
Eliza's passive perception of ridiculous 19.
Okay. Are we in the same room?
I would
Yeah, so as you're kind of like searching through the rooms together, because you don't know what's out of place anyways, you kind of just follow behind her as she's kind of confirming that nothing has been untouched, and you're kind of looking for other things, if nothing was taken, maybe something was put here. And you hear this tiny cricket sound, but it's a little too early for crickets. Only about 11:30 right now. And as you look underneath the bed, you can see these satchels strapped underneath it. Some sort of clockwork mechanism right in the middle. Little gears. Usually making this almost cricket-like sound. And look at this, and it looks to be explosive in nature.
They
These
put a bomb in
wires
my
are kind of lining
apartment.
up.
Okay. Fuck.
What? That's not a what. What are you looking at?
Oh, sorry. So, don't panic.
I don't like it when you start a sentence with that.
We need to get out of here very quickly, and we need to also make sure that any of your neighbors in the building are not in their homes either. There's a bomb under your bed.
Huh.
It's a
Would I know how to like potentially disarm it?
You can
Like would
certainly
I have
try.
had any experience with that, I guess is a better question.
I didn't even think of that. I was like, let's just go.
Because I do like my apartment.
Yes, you have you've experienced like minor bombs and stuff. Little ones. They're useful for blowing open safes and like getting in through doors that people don't want you to get in through. The thing in the center looks pretty much similar to things you've seen before. It's a bit bigger, but yeah, like it's built on a concept you've seen before, just bigger.
Okay. How about this, Eliza?
It's underneath your bed.
Yeah. Does it look like if I move it, it's gonna blow, or?
I don't think you should move it.
Yeah, I'd rather
Give me an
disarm it.
investigation check. Or Eliza could give
Yeah,
one
I
with
would
advantage.
request Eliza give it a look over and then ask her if I think we should probably just try and disarm it, and
Eliza, give
probably the
me
best way.
an intelligence. Just straight intelligence.
Oh, I don't. Just kidding.
Oh my god.
Oh. Looking at this, it's not something you've really had to mess with before. You've messed with like locks and stuff like that in the past, and it does seem to have kind of like a lock mechanism working with its central function, but you're not certain exactly.
Okay. I don't think we should mess with it, but if you do want to try to disarm it, I think we should still try to clear the building first.
Mm-hmm.
Just in case.
Probably good.
So yeah, I guess Eliza. Well, I don't touch that bomb if I'm not here.
Definitely not going to.
Okay, we should. I guess just clear the building, and then we can. Are you sure that you? Do you think you can?
I mean, on a smaller scale, I've seen these.
I mean, we could probably. Is there anyone we could call?
Let's get everyone out.
Okay.
How many people are in my building?
There are 3 other apartments. You know that 2 of them are kind of like in and outers, seasonal kind of people, other than the old lady. Kind of like a little posh place, more of like a little vacation duplex type of concept.
Okay. I'm gonna change myself to look like a guard kind of person, like a person who's kind of official.
Okay.
And just start banging on doors and saying, "Everybody out, there's an issue." And just like,
Give me a persuasion check. As you walk out and bang on each of the doors, you go down, kind of like this very official sounding tone. Nobody in any of them.
oh, yep, they're planning on
What
blowing the
you
place.
hear.
Okay. I don't know if it's worth messing with. We should just go. I mean, we can grab some things. Maybe a few.
Yeah, while I was looking, I would have grabbed that pendant that I had left at home, and some of the stuff that I had there before we found the bomb. I'd like to say.
Mhm.
And then I still think
You hear the chirping of it getting louder.
Okay, we need to go.
fuck.
Also, give me another perception check.
Oh no.
Chirping's not coming from just underneath the bed. You hear it behind some of the bookshelves, and above you, the ceiling.
As soon as I start noticing her kind of like her eyes darting
Louder.
around, I start running.
Gets louder.
Yeah, we both are running.
Yeah.
We
I
are
need you to give me a dexterity saving.
fuck.
Oh my
Ooh,
god.
nice.
No.
These
Alright.
rolls.
And that's the end
Alright.
of Rogues.
Yeah.
Alright. You hear as suddenly the whole walls just and splinter, and your ears pop first as this wave hits you of concussive force, and you are thrown forward by it. It's blinding for a second, and the next thing you know, you feel wind going past you, and I am rolling dice as soon as I find where I wrote the. There we go. Where is 18 force damage, which you guys
1-8?
have had. 18. Oh, it's not. It's private. I see. But 18 halved, so you take 9 force damage because of rogue shit. But for a brief moment, you're stunned by it as you feel the wind touching you. The moment the blinding whiteness of it goes away, the first thing you can kind of see is just bits of falling brick and fire coming off from your home as you're falling down, and then all of a sudden you impact with water. And
Immediately cast Alter Self so I can breathe underwater.
Oh my god.
As you hit in there, you cast Alter Self, feeling these kind of gills and pop up around you, and your lungs expand to take in air underwater. And you look around, and it's just mostly bubbles floating around you, rising in this kind of cacophony. It's hard to see through, but you can see Eliza. Eliza, as you fall down, you immediately manage to hold your breath and hit into the water. What is your Constitution modifier?
Once I find her, I want to give her my Shifter's Shine potion. And
Is the weight of all this stuff falling down around you is, by the way, just pulling you down with the speed of it all. The bubbles that are rising past you are a result of the little force with which this kind of torrent is falling through because of the falling debris around you. And it's almost created this like downwards current that you're being dragged with. So I need you to make an athletics check, the both of you.
Oh. Oh my god.
Okay.
What's going on?
You managed to right yourselves, and you're keeping steady, but you're pulled down by the force of this. And the next thing you know, you can see as this black tunnel kind of rises up out of it, and a couple of these falling debris gets close to being able to hit you, but you swim right past it as this torrent drags you into now bricks. You can see it's like a shallow cave you're being pulled through now. You managed to stay steady, but you have not managed to get to her yet, so I need Eliza to make a Constitution saving throw. And for the both of you to make me perception checks at disadvantage.
I'm not sure how to do advantage at
We'll just take the higher, because it automatically rolls 2.
Yes. Yes.
Oh my god, our rolls today.
I know, what is happening?
Alright, 16, 14. Okay, the both of you can make out that you're probably just got dragged down into a sewer tunnel. You know that there's a couple of them that line along the riverside. And that you probably just got sucked in through one of those as the force of it's going down. But now the current of the aqueducts is pulling you along. You managed to like right yourself so that you're swimming with it and not like thrashing against it and being thrown around. But Eliza, you can feel as the air is getting hard to hold, and looking forward, you're not seeing any sign of like a head up, right? This whole entire tunnel of water is filled, and Eliza, Babette and Eliza both make athletics checks.
God damn.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm just gonna refresh my browser, see if that helps.
That's the digital version of Dice Jail.
This is rough, guys.
All right, Eliza.
I'm frantically trying to make it to Eliza.
I need you to make me a Constitution saving throw, Eliza.
Oh my god. Okay, hold on. I'm sorry. I refreshed and now everything is chaos again. I call the music.
Totally good.
Okay, Constitution saving.
Yep.
What?
All right.
Is Eliza about to die? Like,
Once I get to
Feel
you,
the
I'll be able
air in your
to
lungs
breathe.
And as it does, you feel the air kind of like rushing out of you. You're straining to try and keep even just a little bit of it in, and the pressure is almost like making you dizzy. you're starting to lose the ability to even like kind of keep yourself moving or swimming. Really, you're now just kind of being carried by this current. And I need Babette, just Babette, to make me an athletics check, unless you had an idea.
I think I get swim speed with alter self.
You do. I'm taking
Yeah.
that into account.
Okay, good. Wrong one.
Which is yes. Okay. That's perfect.
Unless
actually.
unless we want to take the 19.
Either or 15 is the push of like your newfound like fins. You manage to finally get up to her, and she is looking rough. But you take this potion and her Shifter Shine. It's an alcoholic beverage. 1 hour after drinking this potion, your skin's complexion clears, appears healthier, and grows more taut. Your face, while largely unchanged, is distinctively more attractive and exudes a weak aura of enchantment magic. When you make a charisma check while under the effects of this potion, you can choose to forgo rolling the d20 to get a 10. Once you use this property, you can't use it again for the remainder of the potion's duration. The potion is rich honey color and swirls around lazily. You can see that there's the eye of a shapeshifter kind of floating within the bottle, and as it like pours the last little bits of the drop down your throat, the eye kind of stoppers the end of it at the end. It is really strong, and you probably would have not been able to chug that thing so heartily had you been more conscious. But with it comes like a bit of a rush of air into your lungs, and the taste of caramel. That strange taste rushes through you. You feel as gills pop up around your throat, and fins grow from underneath your feet, and you have webbing between your fingers, and you can now breathe underwater.
Okay, Are we in a place where like Babette and I can see each other?
Yeah, because I just poured that
You're
potion down
swimming
your
through this
throat.
tunnel.
Well, then I'm just looking at you with like just this look of, I don't know, my eyes are wide and I almost just died, and now I have gills, and what is life?
You do have 1 point of exhaustion. Feeling as like you had all the air. Yes. And so while you can swim and you feel comfortable under here, it's not going to require you any more athletics checks to continue down this tunnel. But swimming against the current most certainly would. And as it kind of like follow it down just a little bit more, you can actually see like where it starts to spill out into a
A well?
And it's a slight an open chasm that you can see. And from what it looks like probably like the back well of some establishment in the Canal District. You've seen places like these. You know that a lot of the Canal District has like these flooded areas from the sewer system, and that the sewage is actually dealt with all of these magical plants that they've got down under there that actually cleans the water.
Yeah.
As you kind of spill out into this area, you can see some of them kind of like glowing underneath you. They look like big fat lilies at the bottom of the water with this bluish tint to them. And the waste around you that's like kind of poured out that you've been swimming through even up to this point actually clears out as it gets closer to all these lilies. And you see a bit of a paddock. And managed to pull yourselves up onto the end of it. Now appear to be in the Canal District.
I
Know that this is
immediately-
directly underneath the entertainment district.
Yeah. I immediately like run out, like
And it's
check
like,
Eliza. And I'm like, are you okay? I got to you in time, okay. Fuck.
I mean, I'm alive. That was... I almost died. Like, thank you.
I mean, that was... I both put you in that situation and got you out of it, so... Classic Babette.
Okay, so... Yeah, we're alive. That's good. Why did we just get blown up again? You pissed off some guy?
Yeah, I didn't... I didn't expect him to blow up my fucking apartment, though.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why I'm confused. Seems a bit extreme.
Yeah, I mean, he did cut off a guy's hand for not following his plan, but...
Right, but those are like two different levels.
Mhm.
Like, if he's crazy enough to cut off a hand, what did you do that was so bad that he put multiple bombs in your place of residence?
I mean, I didn't think it was that... I finished the job for him.
Babs, what happened?
Shit went
You're having this
tits up.
conversation.
Yeah. I assume that we've kind of got up and started kind of walking to a place.
Where you're at, it's... So the Canal District is... There used to be an entire village, or an entire part of the city. The river, lake, came in and flooded up. Rather than getting rid of all of it, they built an entire district on top of it that is now the entertainment district. So this entire area doesn't really have streets or roads. It just has the canals, that this large aqueduct underneath the entertainment district that you can see a couple of like gondola-like vehicles up in the distance, kind of like ferrying some people between places. Some of them people having like little moonlit dinners and stuff on. The paddock that you've pulled yourself up on, you can see that you're probably like in the back staffing area. It's got a singular door and then just a square slab in the back of it, and then the water. And as you can kind of hear the sound of like music inside there, you could also swim your way through it. You have an hour of water breathing.
Yeah.
Yourself, yes.
I would... Yeah,
to you
try...
on whether you want to try and
be sneaky in the water or on the land.
I mean, if we can breathe underwater, we could
Yeah, that's...
at our advantage to use the water.
eventually you'll have to go up through some building to be able
Yeah.
to get up to the district.
But I feel like
But-
I've probably done this before.
You've been around here? You have.
Yeah,
And
I
you know
probably
that
swam around
it's all about trying to
before.
it's about trying to find the right location to get up.
Mm-hmm. Would I be able to
And some
have an
places
idea of where we
try
are?
looking for thieves can't.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Looking at this particular building, go ahead and give me a perception check. Both of you can give it to me. Actually,
Now I'm rolling well.
you both do thieves.
Oh my god.
You are.
Very unfamiliar territory. Thieves' Camp tends to be localized a little anyways. I mean, you learn to look for it and learn it and pick it up really quickly when you get to areas, but you haven't been here before. But you've seen this stuff before. You see that there's this kind of gouged like piece on the side of one of these bricks next to the door that you're at. I just think that it was like some person bored with a knife, chipping away, making a smiley face. But you know that means that people have done cabaret shows here before. You can hear music going on inside. It doesn't necessarily mean that there's one going on now, but it's possible. It means that this establishment is at least friendly to cabaret.
Okay. And I would know that that would be a good place to get up and get to the rest of the city.
Possibly, yes.
Okay.
This place.
Yeah, Babette would just kind of point out the symbol. This place is potentially friendly, but I think that maybe let's focus on escape, and then I can explain things to you.
Okay, well, where are you wanting to escape to?
I don't know. I mean,
I guess
you can change the way you... If we...
Where are we again? We're in Avale, right?
Yeah? Yeah, no, my misadventures aren't as fucking insane as the people that you hang around with.
Well, okay. I mean, you say that, but we just got blown up, so...
Yeah, but at least we're still in Avale.
Right. I guess we could maybe try to get back to, my parents. I don't know.
That's far. Honestly, going back to Nan's is probably good. We just need to make sure that we're not being followed.
Yeah.
But you can change the way you look now. And I obviously can. So, let's not be ourselves. And make our way out.
Eliza just very briefly changes herself into what Babs usually looks like. Just for a second. And then she changes into something else, inconspicuous.
And so
No,
there's basically
alter self only allows you to make the adaptation once.
does it?
You look like fish. You look like a fish version of yourself.
Oh, okay.
Shit. I thought that it was something that you could just switch around. But
Nope, changelings are the only people able to do that.
But it's when you drink this potion, you gain the effects of the alter self spell for 1 hour, no concentration, or until you end the effect as a bonus action. So yeah, I guess it doesn't necessarily.
So you can't turn it off.
It doesn't specify. So at least you're not a fish person.
Right. Yeah, I mean, people, as long as you change yourself, I feel like we're okay. People don't necessarily. Yeah. I mean, they'd have to remember from years ago that we would be together.
Looking at alter self again, they can use an action to change which adaptation they do. I'll mute myself again.
Thank you.
But yeah, okay, so...
Oh, yeah, I see it. There it is.
Well, do you think that anyone saw me with you at your apartment?
Well...
You can end one to gain as an action to gain the benefits of another.
I guess that old lady, maybe.
Yeah, who isn't potentially an old lady.
Right.
I think, yeah, you should change the way you look.
Oh, wait, can I then?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. All right, well then, yeah, I do that. I look totally different.
And so we're just like in like almost like a backyard area.
Yeah, it's literally like 15 by 15 feet of brick on the back end of the square building that rises up almost like a tower. And you can look up and the ivy is growing down from another building up above. You can see like it goes up like 4 or 5 stories like this. There aren't really any windows peeking out from it. Looking around, most of these places down here don't have windows, and the ones that you do see are usually boarded up, with rare exceptions. And looking at you can see the entertainment district like 4 or 5 stories above you, with bridges and everything that allow people to cross between it. And so as you approach the door, give me a investigation check.
Both of us.
Yes.
Eliza.
Eliza's gonna go take a nap. Be right back.
And
After
you need
you
the disadvantage from exhaustion. Jesus.
Struggling over here, man.
You open up the door. You can see that it's kind of already like wedged open a little bit, and you can see that there's like a bunch of like cigarettes and stuff that are like put out in this little ceramic urn by the side there. It looks like they probably, like, the door handle is like firmly locked. They keep it ajar so they can get out and smoke cigarettes. And you kind of prop it open, and looking inside, service area, you see long, almost like you're at the other end of a walk-in closet, because to your left and your right are just long rows of coat hangers with these robes and these elaborate masks stacked on the shelves on the top of them. Remember this place now that you're looking at it from here. It's impossible to tell any of these places out from underneath, other than by like the occasional like sign. These are mostly service areas, but looking in here and looking at these masks, you know that this is a place you've actually done a cabaret show at. They have everybody there dressed up in elaborate masquerade outfits, and that if these things are on display here, it's because there actually is a cabaret show currently going on. And that everybody up there is very likely dressed in disguises. You can hear the sounds of like a really energetic kind of going on. Very like, almost like gypsy kind of vibe to it. It's loud and bombastic. There's definitely dancing going on. Starting to feel a little closer to home, just hearing it.
Mm-hmm.
You also know that not wearing very normal clothes up there would stand out like a sore thumb.
Yeah. Babette looks over at Eliza and then looks at the costumes. We gotta fit in.
I was just thinking it would be a good idea for us to change again anyway.
Yep.
Okay.
So I pick out something that outfits for both of us that look like they would fit the tone of what I'm hearing upstairs.
Alright. Why is that doing this? There we go. Jesus. Alright. Alright. So, you see, they're mostly like odd animal assortments. There's a couple of foxes. You see some rabbits. You see there's the various assortment of types of cats, and a couple of the like coats that are underneath it. You notice actually accent several of them. You see a couple of birds that the coats underneath have like feather-like designs on them. You know this place really well.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'll pick something.
You also know that these outfits are stupid expensive.
I know. And we're still soaking wet, hey? I would assume.
Yes.
I don't have prestidigitation or anything. Yeah, I would grab something that looks like it won't be ruined by or be noticeable if
White
it gets
clothes
wet.
on underneath it. Yeah, got you. Something black.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah, so go for like a raven
Alright.
costume or something.
Alright. You recommend
And-
something black. What kind of black animal costume would you imagine for Eliza? You're gonna kind of pick this raven-like outfit off of it, and you're looking around at like the various assortments of cats and dogs and sheep and various animals.
Oh, that's hard. Honestly, I thought Raven was a really good suggestion.
Yeah.
I don't want to be
Both be ravens. That's fine.
unoriginal. Yeah, because the only other thing I could think of really was like some kind of cat. But that's also kind of original. But she's just like an elusive kind of character.
Yeah, I feel like cat would
Take
fit
that,
Eliza. My other question is, what is the protocol for leaving a cabaret show? Like, would we have to sit and
You
watch?
don't leave. Yeah, you would. Normally, but this one's no. They usually have some sort of band going on in this one, and people just do the social mingle and leave and whenever they want. They kind of do it almost like an open house. These outfits are really expensive, but the jobs are not, which is why you have to return the outfit before you leave. That's the only thing you remember about this.
Okay.
This tends to get a lot of new recruits to the cabaret.
So, yeah. So, like, we wouldn't just be able to walk out of the building in the costumes. We would know that we return the costume after.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you will be able to get through most of the place, at least up through most of the floors, before having to discard your thing.
Yeah. Okay.
And there are about six floors before you get up to the top of the district.
Well, and how much more time do I have in disguise?
We have an hour.
You have an hour.
Still?
So
Should be
probably
fine.
like-
Yes. Yeah, it's only been a couple of minutes.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, I get all dressed up and I just say like, follow my lead, you know, just try and look like you do illegal things for a living.
Eliza looks very uncomfortable. But she's like, okay. Starts
And
centering herself and trying to look relaxed.
Yeah, and
You
so
head up through the next room. You
And
can
I-
see
yeah.
the. Was that?
oh, I was gonna say, like, as much as possible, just try and like Assassin's Creed this, where you just kind of we're sneaking, but not like hiding in the shadows,
Oh yeah.
just trying to blend in.
Well, Eliza can do that.
Alright.
But yeah.
You step up through into the next room as you kind of walk out of this walk-in closet. It goes into a long hallway. You can see on the left there's like two wide arches that look into an open kitchen, and at the end of the hallway in front of you, you can see a door that like cooks and servers in outfits similar to your own are going up and down or in and out of this door. Kind of swings both ways. And as the no one took the joke either. All right, whatever. And the door swings both ways in and out, and you guys kind of grab a couple of trays and follow through into the next room. Low-hanging fruit, guys. Jeez. I'm disappointed. And it's an open kind of ballroom. You can see it actually circles around to your left and your right. And you follow with these trays, and a couple of people every once in a while like grab like a couple of like grapes and stuff off of it. And various like almost like sushi sculptures of foods that have been prepared on it. But you walk through seemingly unnoticed. But I would like y'all to give me performance or deception, your choice.
Terrible roll.
Right.
I just
Oh man.
Eliza's like, can we please go to Nan's?
They're like following right behind her, and thankfully, you've done this a couple of times, Babette, and in the end, Eliza just ends up looking like she's new working here, and nobody approaches
She
you or
gets a
talks.
D4, so she can add because of that human thing.
Oh, my influence.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that's right.
At life. I forget about it.
And again, she still just ends up looking like she's new here, shadowing you as you kind of lead her around with these trays. You get up to the next floor, because off of this one, it kind of has like winged staircases on the other side that lead up into a ballroom. And there's a bunch of people dancing around a band that's set up on like a circular dais right in the center of it. And you can see where there's this big elaborate crystal staircase that spirals like a double helix around the band in the center that leads up to the next floor. Around that elaborate kind of glass sculpture staircase, a bunch of people are just dancing around this ballroom. A large others are sitting or are standing around tall tables or on the outskirts in private conversation.
Do I notice
that most happens on the outskirts?
most of the deals and stuff happen on the outskirts?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And is anybody walking up the staircase?
Yeah, quite a few people going up and
Okay.
down the staircase.
So it won't be sus if we go
No.
on the staircase. Okay. So yeah, ditch the trays and kind of. Do I notice anybody like kind of eyeing us at all? Like,
Give me a perception check.
You want me to too?
I feel like your eyes would be on a swivel as well.
Yes. There you go. Looking around. No, not really. Everybody's
Yeah.
mostly kind of occupied in their own conversations. A few people kind of like glance your direction if you're like passing by to grab like food and stuff off of it, but nobody seems to pay more attention than anybody else does.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, just kind of casually make our way up the stairs, keeping an eye out for anybody who's particularly suspicious, which is
With
a big
me,
ask because it's the cabaret.
give me deception checks.
Nice.
I'll roll the d4 as well.
Oh.
Oof.
All right. You managed to actually like deftly pass off the trays to a couple of the other servants that are heading in the other direction, in like such a manner that like they don't even have like time to like question like why is this other server giving me their trays to bring back, as you then smoothly begin like walking up the stairs as if like you're no surfer here clearly.
Mhm.
And they just kind of like shake their heads and walk off, carrying the trays as you make your way up this glass staircase. And as you're making your way up, kind of trying to keep an eye out for any, familiar motifs in a way. You've learned to kind of like recognize some people every once in a while. This venue rarely attracts the more high class kind of stuff. This is more
This
middle
is like
class
unpaid intern
merchant
kind of jobs.
kind of. Yes, in a lot of ways. Which is why it's a little surprising when you can pass by somebody heading down the staircase. That motif strikes out to you. Dressed in this long white dress and adorned with this white feathered cloak that trails behind her. Over her face is this, looks to be almost like a raven, but stark white mask. And where you can only just make out like the bottom part of her nose and her jaw and lips. And you've seen this person in like a couple of the higher class dealings. You don't know their name. It just strikes you to see them at this particular venue. And it's not the mask. I mean, the mask fits the outfit, but you've seen that cloak in general. And they're bougie. They don't appear to notice you though, as they pass by. But it just strikes you odd to see them kind of there because the last time you saw them was the last time you had seen. Well, not the last time. No, that you had seen Pridwin in a shady dealing. And since the name's popped up a couple times recently, it stands out to you. And you kind of look down to see if she's meeting up with anybody in particular as you kind of continue to make your way up the staircase. And you see you walks down towards a cluster of people, and none of them really stand out to you. You don't really notice any of them. Or give me a perception check. Pointing this out to Eliza.
Yeah, Eliza.
Guidance? I don't know.
Yeah, that works.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, but do I roll something? I'm sorry.
Roll me a perception check and a
Okay.
d4. looking down there, you don't really notice. You notice that a lot of them seem to have like kind of ram masks and stuff. Like there's a strangely more cluster of horned animals in that group than you see anywhere else. It's just weird because you notice more horns there. A flock of animals. You don't really see that anywhere else here. It seems to be pretty randomly intermixed.
Would
Your way
that
up
mean anything
to the top floor.
about it?
I don't know.
The
Somehow she brings it up.
Wait, what? Sorry.
Depends on how you bring it up. Do you tell her that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'd probably point out, like, I mean, if it was you,
yeah,
like
subtly pointed out.
that, like, if it seemed weird, then yeah, I would have said something.
All right. Looking down, it doesn't really stand out. You know that sometimes, like, things and stuff on jobs that like this are kind of forced to wear horned animals. But other than that, it doesn't really stand out to you.
Okay.
And trying to not look suspicious, gawking at anybody at the moment. So you continue up through the stairs to the next floor. And it's this immediately looks a little bit like you've opened up into a library. And it's got hallways that kind of step out into these, which you know are a bunch of like studies, right? Here, people that were just approached for conversation downstairs would probably come up here to have the more detailed conversations in these private rooms. You know that there's no ability to do magical scrying or communication or any of that stuff on this floor. At the end of the hallways, you can see stained glass windows that on the outside you hadn't been able to notice. But you realize were probably magically illusioned on the outside to look like brick so that it prevented people from breaking in through the windows.
Mm-hmm. But it's not easy to see through the windows either, right?
No, you can see clearly out it as if it was, a window.
But it's still stained glass, so like things are a little bit warped.
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah, that was more what I was worried about. So yeah, we just continue on, and I'm really playing up because Eliza is so clearly uncomfortable. I'm trying to like kind of through body language play up this is my protege, I'm showing her the ropes thing.
Eliza like begrudgingly playing that role, even though she's I'm strong, independent rogue. Don't need this.
As you make your way through to the end, you see there's
I will give it a
falling across one of the bookshelves. It's keenly got its eyes on the two of you. Just as you notice it, it's like Eliza, you kind of like see it kind of following across the bookshelf on your left as you're walking down it, and you get this bit of a spine-tingling thing. All of a sudden, feel as someone steps right in front of you.
What was it that was following us, right? That came into my room.
As you begin to walk down one of the hallways, kind of towards the stained glass window, or like as you get, once you get to the end of the hallway, there's a staircase to the left and right.
Mm-hmm.
As you're walking down this hallway, it's lined with bookshelves on either side, and it's very dimly lit. The only light really coming through that stained glass, having like this little square on the ground into the hallway. And out of like the kind of shadows on top of one of the bookshelves, you see a couple of cat eyes staring at you as it kind of was first looking at you, and it began to follow beside you, walking as this black cat kind of follows next to you. And just as you notice it, it's kind of like tingle goes down your back for a moment. You feel some presence, a figure steps in front of you for a moment, and like it catches you off guard because you felt like somebody big was stepping in front of you, but then it's not. And about a child size, really, maybe about 3 feet tall.
Dwarf from
They've
nature.
got this. No, it doesn't look like it. Maybe a halfling. They're wearing a mask, so it's really hard to tell. And their mask is like a bunny. And their whole outfit is very fur lined. It looks like they could have just come from a tundra somewhere, honestly, with fur around the cuffs and this fur around the rim of this very wide dress that puffs out around them. And looking up, you see this little bunny-eared person staring at you. The cat kind of purrs from off of the bookshelf, and you hear, "Yep, I found them. Mhm. Oh, they're on the 3rd floor. Mr. Whiskers. Told you he was dutiful. You just left it to us from the beginning."
Is that?
Would I recognize that voice?
I was gonna say, is that Prince?
Never heard this one before. It's a little, looks like it could be a little halfling girl. Who knows how old they're wearing a mask. But you've never met this person.
Is this like a security that I would know about? Like we weren't very subtle when we picked up the costumes kind of thing, or
No, you're uncertain.
okay.
They said it, should have just left this to me to begin with, so no.
Oh, okay.
You guys look confused.
Yeah.
They
Yep.
feel a little bit more fire, and they look confused. Isn't that right, Mr. Whiskers? Mr. Whiskers purrs, taps her heels, kind of turns around and walks a couple of paces, and then turns really quick to look at you. Gave you a chance to run away and everything. All right, now you die. Give me and roll initiative.
Fuck a duck.
God damn it. Oh, okay. Sorry, things have changed since I.
Yes.
This is new. Okay.
All right. And give me a second.
Oh,
All right. There you go. This. Oh man. Damn. Not one.
My
Everybody's rolling shit.
my initiative is incorrect, I believe.
incorrect.
Yeah. Oh, no. It added it. It just says it weird.
Yeah, I'm not understanding the numbers. Am I dumb?
It's just number one. It's just the number to the left. That's it.
Yeah.
So you got a 20, and Babette has a 15.
Oops, wrong
Actually,
button.
you said Sarah has or Eliza has a point of exhaustion, right?
Oh yeah, so she has a 10. Yeah.
Oh damn.
Sorry.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, it basically gives you disadvantage on
Mm,
skill checks and stuff like that.
Well, fuck.
Yeah,
much tired. Well, they got a nat 1, so.
that's good.
All right.
You said nat one, but I heard nap, and I was like, yeah, okay, that's what she needs.
All right. So you see as suddenly the cat leaps off the banister and up onto her shoulder. And in this moment, you so you know that hiding in the middle of a place like this is an extremely ballsy thing for somebody to be doing, right?
Mhm.
And which means that either they're really stupid or you're really fucked.
Yeah, and I'm
Looking
leaning towards the
around,
ladder.
Yep.
you've been in tough situations like this, and you see escape might be the better option here.
Yeah.
Looking around, you've got several more floors ahead of you, or several more floors below you, and they were talking to somebody probably. Or a window at the end of the hallway.
Fuck.
Give me 1 second to read something.
How far up are we?
You have gone up 3 floors, and this is a 6-story building before you reach the top floor.
Okay, but if we jumped out the window, we'd probably be hurting ourselves at this point.
You're jumping out to water, and it's about, at this point, 40 feet up. You do still have the ability to switch to aquatic, so you could have a swim speed. So you would be fine once you hit the water.
Oh.
Action to switch to having that water breathing, though. So if you do that, you're not attacking anybody this round. So it's, use your action to attack, maybe, or try and flee.
Okay.
I assume I'm first in initiative.
Yes.
So Babette kind of turns to Eliza. We gotta run, and then I'm gonna try and cast compulsion on this person.
All right. Give it to me.
What the heck?
All right. What's your
I
DC?
believe it's 15.
Oof, Jesus. Yeah, that's not getting it. All right. So you succeed. What do you?
I want to get
Gonna
her to
do.
move just out of our
Out of the
way, so
way.
we have a straight shot at the window.
All right. So you yell, out of the way as you cast this spell, and immediately you see as this little halfling girl backs up against one of the bookshelves, and you get this clear thing and no ability to attack as you're well outside of her range as you run by. As you leap towards the window, I need the both of you to give me dexterity saving throws. All right.
There you go. That's something.
And 9. All right.
Only like second level.
Yeah, you're right. Yep. So you're still good. As you leap out the window, and feel the glass crashing around you. You fall backwards, and you feel the water hit up against you, and your gills return back to you for a moment. However, there are a multitude of canal boats going through here. You can see that the canal market is currently going through this part of the canal district. The market itself is constantly moving in a literal sense because it's just a bunch of boats that move about underneath the canal district. This is where they pull up behind a lot of those patios, like the one you pulled yourself up onto, to deliver food and groceries and supplies for all these businesses and restaurants that are up above. And a lot of people come down here just to go shopping.
Okay.
And these boats are pulling them and swimming by. It's really far to the other side, and as the boats are kind of like moving by pretty quickly, it'd be hard to swim to the other end without getting hit, but you might be able to pull yourself up on top of them. Looking up, you can see the figure of this halfling girl, bunny mask and cat on her shoulder, up in the window looking down at you. And you see
concentrating. I'm still concentrating on the thing, so she wouldn't be able to. I assume.
Still up to range go on this.
Oh, that's
another
true.
wisdom saving throw to end the effect. Hold up, I'm just going to clarify. Let me read on it.
I didn't think about the range on it though.
It depends on if it's this set it or if it's something else. So it's one of those things that's DM discretion for that.
Yeah.
I'll even make like a concentration check if you'd like.
Give me just a second. Go ahead and give me that though, anyways, for having hit that fall. And
I suck at con saves.
anyway, I'm going to roll for that, and then it was like another. Okay. Since you guys were crashing down here. And that is a 19. So yeah, they would have been making it there just now.
Okay.
But yeah, they wouldn't have been able to do it for just like 12 seconds. And as you're to kind of like pull yourself up on like the back, like netting on the back of one of these boats, you can see as she pulls up this like looks to be like a twig or something at this distance, a wand probably, and just like taps one of her bunny ears with it, and then all of a sudden you watch as she leaps off of the banister and begins to like fall down towards one of the things, one of the boats below. You can see him kind of going by, and she lands on that one, but it's a little bit further down from you than the one that you've just pulled yourself up on. But she is jumping. And
what the fuck?
And you can see that there's like a whole nother building on the other side of this canal. These boats are going by. And they're moving at different intervals and different speeds. Some of them are kind of moving between them. So I need you both to give me intelligence checks to try and see if you can find a way through this.
Can I do
a good
Yay!
that? Yes, you can.
Okay.
All right, 15, not bad. All right, Babette, you see a really smooth way across this, and you take off on it. But Eliza, you're kind of a little bit behind on finding your route. So as soon as she's kind of got off on it, that route isn't available to you. But you see another pretty good viable one, and you leap off, taking off on another boat. Somebody shouts at you to stop, but you can see it as like off to your right, this little halfling funny outfitted girl is jumping from boat to boat, kind of cutting like a diagonal path towards you guys, trying to hopefully cut you off. You can see on the other end, there's the like glass windows and back scaffolding of another building, and some like cranes lifting up supplies into warehouses on the buildings to the left and the right. And they, you go ahead and give me a perception check, Babette, as you're kind of taking the lead here. So as you're trying to like, see if you can see if any of these buildings have a safe place. You're looking for the similar signs. You're trying to kind of just keep up with the path that Babette like just leapt into on these boats, and so don't have enough time to look around. But you're kind of also keeping a look on the girl to the right that's trying to catch up with you. You do notice, Babette, what looks to be a safe space kind of sign. It means that this business probably gets protection from the Thieves Guild. It's not associated with our guild, but with the thieves it is, and you guys can have friendly relations with each other.
Yeah, and I probably did some work for the Thieves Guild when I was first starting out.
Exactly. And you're trying to make your way off to like it's in like the second balcony. You can see a couple of these crates being lifted up for supply runs from some of the bigger barges that have gone through this canal district, and you leap off over onto one of those boxes to get pulled up to that balcony where you can see like the graffiti for safe space on it. And I need the two of you to give me athletics or acrobatics.
Thank
Whichever one
God.
you're at.
Oh, Eliza.
Guidance.
I was gonna say,
Alright.
guidance though. I was also gonna say I would help Eliza if I could.
As you're both leaping up onto this box, Eliza, you managed to grab onto the edge of it, and you're holding on to it, but it hits you with this really strong force that kind of sets the box kind of almost like spinning a little bit, and one of the people down below bounce up as they kind of notice it spin and goes, "What are you doing up there? You know how much that stuff is worth?" And as soon as he shouts off, you, Babette, like reach over and you manage to grab her by the arm and you're pulling her up, and you both hear this gunshot ring off. And you look off to the distance, and it's this huge twisting blue concussive force flying right towards the chain that is on your box, and it hits against it, and the chain snaps. You feel as the whole thing spinning around underneath you begins to collapse and fall down, and you go running across the top of it, and I need the two of you to give me acrobatics checks.
Oh no!
Oh gosh, that one. Alright.
No!
As you leap over
Wait,
the side of it,
Again?
you
Fill in that one though.
I know.
You take 6 points of bludgeoning damage as you leap and you hit the side of this back patio, whereas Babette, you kind of lightly leap over the top of it and do like a tumble into the other side of it. You spring back up onto your feet, and you turn around and you can see where she's smacked up against the other side of the banister. She's pulling herself over the top of it, and she like collapses down on the other side, heaving a couple of heavy breaths. You kind of peer over the banister or through like the gaps in the banister on the patio that you're on, and you can see as a bunny girl is still leaping across the boxes towards you. You can see the door off to the left, and it pulls open. Like Crackers kind of hears like the shuddering sound, and a couple of like the boats in the pathway you can see are already kind of like birding, and she's having to she's actually having to move now to like off track as the boats themselves are parting around the wreckage she just created. So it's taking her a little bit longer.
From her?
Yes, she shot it right out of her wand.
Okay.
And it broke the chain. But now that the box has fallen and you guys are up on the banister, you can see the boats are parting around the fallen box in the water. And it's putting her off track a little bit. And the door kind of opens up a crack as like the building kind of hit with that box for a moment. And you see this large Goliath, big red or big black beard and bald head, cleaver in hand, opening it up and looking out, and he's like, "What are you?"
What was
and
that?
You see like the thief sign thing kind of tattooed on his hand. You didn't understand a word of what he was saying.
Okay.
But you can see a tattoo on his wrist that you clearly know is Thief's Cant.
Okay.
This guy's probably worked in the Thieves Guild, or is in the Thieves Guild, rather.
I, in Thieves' Cant would say, I gotta run. Can we, leave here safely?
Peeks out the door and stuff. Sees like the boats part, and he's like, in. He puts the cleaver, kind of like behind him as he opens the door a little bit wider. And as soon as you're in, he pulls it in tight and locks it with this deadbolt that you can see on the other side. Looking in, you can see it's a big kitchen. There's a few people that have kind of like stopped, and he like yells some stuff off in a language you don't understand. It's very like rough, guttural sounding. And the cooks all kind of like look away, and go back to cooking, right? And he shakes you over here, and he goes, "Just remember, Alexander always does the guild right." And he opens this door into a what looks to be a servant's quarters room. And with that, you can see that in due kind of fancy establishment parameters, it's another kind of dressing room of sorts. This isn't really masquerade style. It looks to be like basic servants kind of tuxes, bow ties and shit like that. And something you can easily get your own outfit to kind of like mask the appearance of. As you kind of like look to the other side, you can see as you open like this door, it leads out onto a long hallway through which you can hear the sound of opera music.
Okay, and so this is likely... This isn't cabaret, though. This is just an opera that's happening.
Yeah, this is just an opera that's happening.
Okay. So we ditched the clothes, the masquerade clothes, and I changed to look like one of those outfits, and kind of gesture for Eliza to change. You can mute the tab.
Wait, what? How do I do that?
Click on the tab, and it should have a mute layer. right click on the tab and it should have a
No,
mute option.
I'm so sorry that I'm inept.
No worries.
I did. Since we're paused, though, I need like just a second for a bathroom break,
Mhm.
guys. I'm sorry.
Oh, this is
No
the
worries.
perfect time for it.
Yeah.
As you guys change into opera attire.
I'm also gonna do that bathroom break too then. I'll be right back.
That was hype. Fuck.